And we are live on the Icecast Live. And my name is Shane Chebsey. And next to me is the beautiful, wonderful Lucy Orchard. Lucy Orchard. Sorry, Lucy, I couldn't resist. It's been a while. It's been a while since we spoke, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. And we seem to both have, coincidentally, the lurgy at the same
Oh,
time.
you've got it as
You and-
well.
Yes, it's hit us hard. In fact, this morning, my voice was like a Muppet.
No way. So you sounded like a Muppet as well as looking like a Muppet.
Oh,
Sorry.
honestly, you know how to woo the ladies, don't you?
So, so I quite fancied some of the Muppets when I was younger. In a funny way. I found some of them quite attractive. But anyway, moving on.
In full disclosure, I only answered to the name Mrs. Johnny Five at a certain age, and then I moved very swiftly on after a quick divorce to Mrs. Michelangelo of said Turtles.
I like it. So you fancied the Turtles, yeah?
Well, only Michelangelo because he was a party
right.
dude.
Well,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
they
yeah.
look the same? What's the difference?
Mine had an
look.
orange mask.
Ah, wow. Okay, so that all it takes is the color of your garments to impress the ladies.
So shallow.
I wasn't going to say that. So tonight on the Icecast Live, we are talking to the two of the head honchos at the 77, which, Lucy, because you are clueless on this, is a brand. Well, I say brand new. They've actually been going now for well over a year. They started off, I think it was May 2020. I've got in my notes. So they've been going for well over a year, and they've published 6 anthologies. They've also recently had a really successful Kickstarter with an annual, and it looks absolutely amazing. I've got it on the screen, so I will share it so you can check it out. But it's really cool stuff. You take my word for it. And yeah, so we're going to be talking to Ben and Steve from the 77 tonight. We've got Steve waiting in the wings at the moment, and I think Ben will be joining us later on. So I'm really looking forward to chatting with them, finding out, how the past year's been for them, what their future plans are, and all that sort of stuff. So I usually have Sam, the imaginary man, in his cupboard playing, the video for me. But tonight I've got to press the buttons myself. It's an absolute disgrace, I tell you. So please bear with me. And welcome back to the Icecast Live. Nice to see you rocking there, Lucy. And welcome to... Now, you've got Bully on the screen there. Do you like to be referred to as Bully, or is it Steve?
Well, do you know, I thought we'd try and tie it in a little bit. So Bully is always, since I was a kid, last name Bull, I've had Bully. And actually, when I'm going to stick the annual up right there, quick flash right there, I'm already plugging. But in there...
Straight in there. Straight to the jugular.
We've got Bully up here, so one of the characters in there, it's named Bully. The editor's Bully, that's me. So, that's what we've got on the screen.
Well, you beat me to my first question, because my first question was what do you do at the 77? And you just told me.
Say first question is plug the annual, right?
We'll get to that. So you're the editor.
You've had Ben on here before, so Ben has taken the lead editing the regular issues. Then when we sort of formulated a plan to do the annual, it was me putting my hand up and saying, come on, I'm going to drive this one. So I took the reins. I'm the editor on this one. Usually I sort of sub-edit, basically assistance to anything that Ben wants to do on any of the others. And usually I'm the cover editor on the regular one. So I'll be putting that together and making sure the graphics are right, etc. But I've gone, start to finish on this one, obviously with the help of Ben and the rest of the team.
That's a big project to take on as well. Because how many pages is the annual, Bully?
So we are 146 pages for the hardcover, 152. So and it grew. I think you've met Ben. So what happens is like, I'll do 100 pages. Yeah, let's do 140. And I'm like, okay, we'll do that. And then some point I have to go, that's it. We're not getting any bigger than that. We've got a nice big weighty tomb on your shelf, and that's it. That's what we've got.
First question from me has to be, would you do it again? That's going to be the review, the overall wrap-up.
I've already started on next year's annual.
Oh,
you glutton for punishment.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been a long time in the making. So this one, I think I started about November last year, actually, just with the ideas, approaching the artists, all the creators that I wanted to get involved with it. So I'm basically back to that. We're at a point where the hardcover hasn't even landed yet. It hasn't even reached my house. That's due for tomorrow. And I've already spent most of this week approaching various creators that I want on there. I'm about a quarter of the way through the list at the moment. So for next year.
Wow. Well, that's the way you've got to do it, isn't it? You've got to always work ahead of yourself.
Is it the fourth bridge? You know, where they start painting it and they work all the way to the end. And as soon as they get to the end, they're back to the start again. That's what we're doing with the annual.
That's it. That's a good name for a publisher. You know, Fourth Bridge Publishing. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep that one for later.
That's me and you, Shane. That's me and you.
Yeah.
It's recorded, all right?
Come on. I put my hands up. I am not aware of the 77. So sell me, baby.
Well, first of all, I can see a plant behind you, but are you under a rock as well?
That is a really good comeback. Fair play.
Okay. I'll play nice. Okay. So do you want a brief? I'm going to do a potted history. Okay. So
yeah, that'd be really good actually, because a lot of the people watching this might not, or watching it later. So we have people watching later on YouTube and on Facebook, and they might not be familiar with the 77 or its history. So that would be really cool.
Sure. So it's kind of born of Facebook. Okay. So Ben, who we refer to a lot and will be here later, created a group called 1977 to 2000 AD. 2000 AD being the comic in the name that we all read as kids. He created that many moons ago, and I joined that group and then got heavily involved with that group on Facebook. And there was a bit of a collective of people joined together there. What we found out during running that group is there was a lot of talented people that had attempted to break into comics when we were younger, had given up on their dreams and taken on like the normal 9 to 5. It seems like most of them became postmen, but we'll touch on that.
That's a funny thing, isn't it? I've noticed that as well. A lot of indie creators are postmen. Yeah.
It must be a natural progression, creative and postman. I don't know. So what happened is we started to discover this talent, and we run competitions through there to, just Facebook competitions, social media competitions. And then we got to a point where Ben had already done publishing, I think, when he was younger, and again had sort of given up on the dream. So he mooted to myself and Dave Healy, who were the admins on this group at the time. I want to do a comic. And Ben is kind of like, Ben, once he decides he wants to do something, the blinkers go on. He's 100 miles an hour on it.
Yeah.
And me and Dave were like, yeah, sure, we'll help out. And then it started to steamroll from there. So we gathered what we thought was the biggest talent from that group. We started to formulate ideas. We started having weekly meetings about it, working out how we were going to do it, getting advice off people in the industry that had remained in the industry. And then we put together the first comic, and it was really well received. And we started a group off of that, and a Twitter page. And so I think Twitter's got maybe 5,000 followers on it. The Facebook group, 1977 2000 AD group, is up to about 12,000.
Yeah, that's
members.
growing well, isn't it? I see people joining the group all the time. And people seem to get so much pleasure out of it. That's what I like about it. I don't know if you've seen this group, Lucy, but it's a great Facebook group, and it's mostly 2000 AD fans. I'll be honest,
it's a really heartfelt provenance for any origin story. It wasn't just put into a machine, a couple of buttons pressed, and a think tank was involved. This is people that like each other, that like things,
exactly.
Doing things they like.
It's a really good point that you bring up there. So the ethos for the group, and what we all, there was lots of people came and went on the group, but the ethos was it was going to be the friendliest Facebook group for this medium for comics. What we've noticed being involved in other groups is quite often, and as you see with social media, people get carried away and they start abusing each other when somebody doesn't think the same way as them, etc. We didn't want a place for that to exist. And if you look at the community, like within the comic community, there's a lot of people that I don't know how to put it. They need a place where they're not going to receive the abuse that they might have in other areas of their life.
They can just be themselves, basically.
Yeah, we wanted to be there. We wanted it to be all inclusive. We wanted people to really enjoy their stay, and that's what happened. Like if somebody acts up, they generally don't stay there very long. They're out. And then we had the same thing with the creators. We wanted to get involved. We wanted people that were it was passion. It was a passion project.
Yeah.
You needed to be involved. If the first question is money, then we're probably not going to get along. Like what we need to do is get ourselves in a position where everybody involved will get their reward, but there's a building process that has to happen first. I'm sure we'll touch on that.
That's a really good thing as well, because I've noticed with it is that the guys obviously who were with you at the beginning, for the most part, you know, they're in it for the love, and now, you know, over a year later, you can see that the reward for that love. You know, you can see it happening. I mean, recently, you know, I saw that Ben has gone full time. We'll talk about a bit more about that into the publishing, and so it's obviously starting to work out. And for me, that's a really good success story. You know, that's something that built on passion and love for the medium and love for the community has now, you know, turned into something that's genuinely a viable publishing house. You know,
it's been incredible, and I'm honestly saying so, and there's, you know, we're always as transparent as we can be, and I'm honestly saying that we want the best for everybody who works for us. Now, if somebody wants to work for a publisher and I can help them, and they're a creator on the 77, get to where they want to be, that's what I want to do. I want them to get there, even if it's at the sake of, you know, we could then create the next success story after that. And you're seeing it. You're seeing people that work with us, you know, they're going on to bigger things,
and different things. I mean, we've stole some of your guys, at Scar Comic, you know, because I'm also a publisher, and for Dead by Dawn, we had Dave Bedford in there, we had Andrew Sawyer in there, and these I spotted them in the 77. You know, that's
and
where
what
I saw them.
You'll get the support from us as well.
Yay! I'd like to see it. Oh, thank you very much.
So that's what I'm happy for everybody who does well. So that's what we're looking at. So.
Yeah, we've got some comments. Sorry, go on.
Point out that with the internet, there's horrible parts of the internet. It really can make you step back and think, if aliens invade us, we don't deserve to make it through the first wave.
100% we're a plague.
but little communities online, especially during a global pandemic. I mean, Shane and I knew each other from before in real IRL, but we reconnected during lockdown through internet. The Ice family, we're a weird bunch, but we're a nice little community that Shane's created as well. And I honestly, this warms my cockles.
But that's it. We're getting closer to you guys, and if you think like our whole story pretty much happened with the actual publishing of the comic, it's happened during the pandemic.
Yeah, that was a growth period for you guys, wasn't it? I'd say probably. We've got Ben here now. Let's bring him in.
It's got a level of success that without going to conventions, without us trying to flog it in real life, it's it's done it because there's word of mouth and it's the social media and the communities we've built. So I think the communities are the biggest part.
Yeah, definitely. Hey Ben, how you doing?
Oh, I just got out of the kitchen.
Hey Ben.
Doing the washing up, making a glass of orange. I like it.
No, cooking fish and chips for the village.
For the village? Oh my god! Doing your bit for the community.
I'm helping a mate with his restaurant at the moment, so it's a second string to one of my siblings.
Oh wow!
Hello, Lucy. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Benksy.
Hello, Steve.
How you doing, bud?
Heard you've had a bit of a bad day. A mad day as well. Yeah.
It's been mental. Yep.
Yeah.
And now you can chill out and just talk to us. And
just having a nice chat here. It's good.
How are you doing, Shane?
I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I've got a stinking cold and a bad throat with it, which is why I'm so close to the mic. But other than that, I'm hunky-dory.
So what I've picked up from this is the annual is going to be available to come out for Christmas. And then, Ben, apparently you're going to be delivering each copy. You're part of the logistics.
It's Santa.
Maybe in the
there's
village.
there's a story in the script where I'm Santa. Yeah, in the annual. Yeah.
And they'll get a bag of chips as well. We have had some comments in. I'm just going to read them out. I think this one. Where are we? There we are. I think that was in reference to Bully's joke earlier at Lucy's expense. And what we got? Andy Hayes. Hey guys, I live in Forth Bridge.
Go on, Andy.
Well,
There you go.
Hey.
Andy's a big part of that community as well. So hey, Andy, you're gonna have to help me paint the bridge, bud.
Brilliant. James Gray. It's a great group. So this is the 1977 to 2000 AD group, and everyone is just very, very lovely. Oh, isn't that nice?
We make sure they are.
Yeah. Anyone who isn't is out. Yeah.
Facebook have actually just changed all of the entry algorithms for the groups. It's very interesting. You have to set up levels where people either hit criteria, either having been in Facebook for a certain period of time that you're interested in knowing, or with friends or with groups that you already know of. They can participate and they can drop in and they can leave comments and like things. But you don't have a procedure now where you get, do you want a member to join? They've got rid of these things. There are no longer members. It's an interesting thing. It changed 2 days ago. So
I have noticed that. Yeah.
So what is interesting is we could have had 15,000 members, but actually what we've got is 12,000 really nice members.
Yeah.
That's how we want it to roll.
Yeah. I mean, it's better, isn't it?
We've Steve and I spent quite a lot of time talking to a Facebook community manager. It's about a year ago, Steve, isn't it? About last October?
Probably a little bit longer now, yeah.
And I think it's about that time. We had quite a lot of chats and they wanted to know about the group and they were very interested. They'd approached us about how we were running it and how it was going. And at the time, we only had 2,000 members. So we've added 10,000 in the last year based upon, obviously, I imagine Facebook think it's good, a well-run sort of group, and then they push you up the algorithm basically. So it is like it is a knock-on effect, isn't it? I noticed with one of our groups we had a sudden influx of members because of Glenn Fabry inviting all his friends basically, and what happened was that had a knock-on effect, and then more people joined, and I think it can snowball, can't it? Sometimes as long as you keep it running well,
Yeah.
Definitely. We've had some more comments.
You said you found the creators and all the writers, drawers, publishers, all that stuff. You got that from the group. So you've got this massive group of people taking part. Are you taking any of their input on the storylines or what they want from the annual? Are you including them?
So yeah, there's always feedback. So what happens is when we kick, so we do comics through Kickstarter to fund them prior to publishing. And after that, what we'll do is we'll generally survey people that have bought the comic to find out what they enjoyed, what their stories are. And also we've got the separate group, which is the 77, which has, about 1,500 members, I think.
Yeah, and a page as well, which is the business as well.
Yeah. So and because it's such a community and because the creators involved are part of the community, it's like everything you want probably as a fan as well, because you can talk to anybody at any time and you can tell. I mean, sometimes you don't want to hear what somebody thinks of the story, but it's okay. Like everybody's got an opinion, and it's an anthology, so there's nobody picks up and loves every story in an anthology generally.
No, that's a given, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't matter how good the anthology is. There's always going to be a couple of stories that people it just doesn't do it for them, But I think I've noticed most of the feedback that you guys get is it's respectful and it's constructive. I've seen that, and obviously the other great thing is I've noticed that you listen.
Oh yeah.
That's an important thing. You listen to the good feedback, and
as a result, you've seen.
Yeah, and you've seen it develop. I mean, I look at like issue 1 and what you're doing now with the annual, and in a relatively short space of time, it's just the quality of the publication is just skyrocketed.
Shane, honestly, as we're editing it and you pick up that copy, every time I read it, I'm like, I feel like I'm just playing the same message. I look at it and I'm like, it's so much better than the last one. And that's I try and be objective in most things that I do, and I don't think I'm blinkered or rose tinted as I'm looking at it. But
I mean, there's a difference, isn't there, Steve, with regards to the schedule of the 77 comic, which is strictly kind of my overarching thing, but Steve's very much been managing the overall for the annual. Steve started on the annual a year ago, and I can tell you, having monitored and worked with him pretty much solidly, you've been editing it for the last 3 or 4 months, Steve, haven't you? To be honest with you.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereas a 77, they come out every 3 or 4 months. So the process of editing, once you get to the end of the Kickstarter, most of the products should be together. That's our remit. Basically, we don't kickstart without a product. Yeah, we always have the product up front. But you've got to put it together. Strips have to go to get colored. Strips have to be lettered. Then we obviously have to ensure all the editorials put together, get the balance right, and all of that. The cover has to be. I know there's formats and there's kind of pro formas which you use to put these things together. And our editor Brendan, who I think you know, Shane.
Yes.
Does a sterling job. But basically, I've just got to say, I think Steve's been probably putting in. He's got a full-time job. He's been putting in at least 30, 40 hours a week on this for the last 3 months.
So you're not sleeping then, Steve, at all?
Do you know what? It's been leveled a few times. Yeah, there's a.
Yeah, but mate, kind of meetings, the meetings you have with Brendan, you can't start before 9 at night, can you? And
he's in New Zealand, so
he's in New Zealand. Yeah.
Massive shout out to Brendan right now because again, the work he puts in. So he's the technical genius behind what's there. I can't do that stuff. What I can tell him is how I'd like it to look or what we're trying to achieve. Yeah. And he'll come back and we'll have this to and fro. It's just a really good process. And he's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I mean, the work that he's doing now, isn't it right, Steve? Is basically we're utilizing him almost on a capacity where we're giving him some good work now in the fact that the banner's behind us, a lot of the reprint material, which we're not necessarily going to chat a lot about tonight because it's still in sort of beta really, but we've got 2 or 3 projects coming up within the next 6 months, which require an awful lot of editing and resorting. And we're constantly looking at that whole dynamic between, okay, what size publication we have physically, what we'd like to go to, if some other if our sister publication, which we seem to think sort of like Shift, basically if we're going to be working with them, would we change the size of that? If we were going to go to an American distributor, what would they want it a little smaller? So there's constantly things that need reviewing, but we haven't, in essence, changed the format for the page sizes. It's still 210 by 280, which is the old classic.
It is the classic, and I think with your audience, which is basically 2000 AD fans, they love that format, don't they? They're always going to gravitate to that, I think.
Look, we don't want. What we want to do is originally we wanted to capture the nostalgia of the comics we picked up as we were younger. Yeah, so you'll see, there's elements of that in the masthead on the comic, how we put the comic together. The original comic had the border in with almost the page discoloration. Now everything should be organically growing. So we're at a point now where we don't want it to just be for a nostalgic audience. We think this is something that has got legs. Lots of people can enjoy this. So we're looking for the future and we're just going to tweak it a little bit. So and we're going to bring it into the age we're in right now, but not. We're trying very hard. We're trying very hard not to lose our nostalgic audience. What we're not doing is we're not going right. We need to get 16-year-olds involved in our comic because I'm not sure how realistic it is.
How do I get a copy of it? Where do I go? What do I do? Is it online? Do I go to a shop? Do I have to go through your website? How do I get it?
Okay. Go to the77.net and you will land on a page that you can buy it from. Any of the issues, go to Get My Comics, GMC. They handle Shane's, they handle ours, they handle a lot of people's comics. If you want more choice than just our products, go there. If you go to Fort Bubble this weekend, you'll find us at stall 107 in Bubble Boy, and you can buy anything that you want from us. And you can have a nice
go to Wow Comics, go to Forbidden Planet International. We're starting to branch out now, but basically you have to get into Diamond Review. Okay, people have to pick up on Diamond Review. That takes years to really start getting people looking at it. I mean, we've been in 3 now. Blazer went in the first one with Steve McManus's comic, so that's coming up to number 2's coming out next spring, January. That went in and got good sales. But basically, with review, there are certain criteria you have to hit. Okay, how responsive the shopkeepers are at the moment. Obviously, we went into lockdown We sent every single shop in the country number 2.
Cool.
Then I received 40 back saying these businesses are out. These businesses do not operate anymore.
Yeah, that's scary, isn't it?
I fed that back. I fed that information back to John Freeman, and I were working on the nationwide list of the shops. So that's been updated now. But basically, we've done the hard yards, and Steve would agree, by thriving really, or building and thriving and going up from having no physical shops, obviously looking at us, and just going through the online. So we've worked really hard on doing the online and the Kickstarter. So I mean, without sort of talking about numbers, but if I was talking about percentages, so we would say 50% of our stuff goes out with the Kickstarter, and then 50% we're selling as well. So whatever you see we sell on the Kickstarter, we then sell, and then we've got stock.
That's impressive.
And we've just recently sold out of number 1. I can't remember the print run. Steve, can you remember what the print was for number 1? I can't remember, mate.
I can't remember.
3, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was around about that. So,
which,
I mean,
sorry, mate.
Sorry, that comes to the model of our Kickstarter and fairness with creators. So what we do, so right now it's probably important to mention some of the other team members. So we've got.
I was going to ask about that. You've got a lot of people involved here, haven't you?
Yeah. It's so we've got a team that is basically Dave Healy, Joe Healy, who you might have come across on the socials, David Bedford, and Morgan Spiceman, and as we mentioned, Brendan before. So what happens is a bunch of these guys are creators also in their own right. So Dave Bedford, Joe, Dave Healy, myself, actually even Morgan wrote in the first comic, issue 1. So what we do is we decided that when we're doing a Kickstarter, as we're part of the company, what we're going to do is we're not going to take any of the monies generated by the Kickstarter.
Right.
We're going to pass on any profit to the other creators that are involved in that particular project.
Yeah,
okay?
That's a good way of doing it.
What we do to build the company is, and we level all this information in an email to all of the creators to begin with, so there's full transparency. Is we say what we're going to do is we're going to extend the print run, and what's going to happen is, so we'll have the overheads, and then whatever's left as profit we'll share out equally. We've got an algorithm picking that out for each of the creators, and then it will cover the overheads, will cover an extended print run. We'll sell the extension of the print run, and that's how we generate money for the business, and that's how we'll pay to go to Fort Bubble. That's how we'll pay for a lot of future projects. So that's.
I mean, we've ended up. I mean, it takes a long time to cash out the Kickstarter. So again, not necessarily wanting to air our laundry in public, but it takes 3 weeks for the cash to land in your account. Then basically the fulfillment takes 2 or 3 weeks. We've then got to get all the costings back from our distribution, pay the printer first. Generally, they get paid. Then it's pay the distribution, and then we've got to check all the other fixed and over sort of variable costs. And then the creators will get their percentage, which we're working on. But obviously, it can go up and down. So, for example, I'm happy to talk about Blazer behind me. So, Blazer, when we first kickstarted on that, we had an estimation of £2,000. Well, it went to 8. So the creators got a higher level than they would have, and that's what's explained in the what we call it, Steve, the boilerplate. Is that right?
Boilerplate, yeah. So we have a target that will cover the costs and a very basic page rate for everyone. Yeah. Everything beyond that target then allows everybody else to get paid more money.
Yeah, so, it's a good system. It's a good system. It sounds really good. I mean, I think a lot of people are genuinely interested in all that as well. You know, I mean, there's a lot of people probably watching this maybe later on as well, who are thinking of, creating their own comics, wondering how they're going to make it work financially. So these sort of breakdowns and how you can work with creators and how you can pay them. I think people have a genuine interest in all of that.
Well, I have considered, I mean, I did a seminar with Tom Ward of Elephant Man. Myself and him did a seminar on LICAF last year when it was virtual. We did a 2-hour show where basically we just discussed with 200 people joined us, and we discussed the sort of essence of kickstarting. I think there's definitely room. I wouldn't say whether it's in the marketplace, but I certainly think I'm considering putting together some kind of guide. Maybe if that was kickstarted, I don't know. I mean, it's still very much sort of early days.
Like you have fair trade comics.
Well,
it is, isn't it?
You
You
call it the
can't call
comic
yourself
book
a
code.
collective when you're now a business, and we are now a business. We have to
Yeah.
do this. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Steve and I, we like the houses we live in. Yeah. I don't mind my laptop going, but my house isn't going. And the point is, when you scale up and when things go to scale up, the risks get a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And the good thing is Steve's in credit control himself. So he showed me a document the other day. He did some analysis on our company. And it was so funny to watch it from his perspective and saying, well, look at the risk of this company. And then and it was us, you know. And it's so funny, but it's how banks and institutions look at the credit worthiness of businesses. Now, you know, I'd be quite happy trundling along doing this. But like I said, Steve's putting 30 hours a week in. I'm putting more than that. And, you know, I'm getting full time as such from December. The way I think we're going to be able to ourselves potentially expand and monetize the revenue is to do more of the traditional conventions. I think that's one way of doing it. And this is the very first one. I thought that was the very
is it your first convention?
We're going to be on the other side of the table.
That's of course, because when you started, we were in pandemic. Well, it was just starting up, wasn't it? Really, but so you guys have never had the opportunity, have you?
Shane, we were going to be a comic to launch at Lawless, our favorite small convention.
Oh yes,
and
Lawless, another great con. Yeah,
you know, so things have moved on, and we're really thrilled to be actually part of the sort of sponsorship team really now behind Lawless, working with Sue Hadrill. We're going to be there in force in May. We're going to have.
I mean, that is the perfect convention for you guys to sponsor, isn't it? You know,
Absolutely.
with your fan base and the guests.
Well, half the creators there we've actually had in our comic. And we're talking the 2000 AD droids as well. You know, Paul Williams, who say Glenn Fabry you mentioned earlier. PJ Horton doesn't go, but he's worked for us. I mean, there's a lot. You know, Mike Collins. You know, and. Yeah, they'll turn up. We'd love to have Mick McMahon work for us, obviously, do a strip. But,
wouldn't we all, eh?
John Wagner, would you just do us 3 pounds?
I keep asking John.
I tried to get John. I tried to get John for Dead by Dawn as well, but he wasn't having it. He's very nice reply there.
Very interestingly, the Lawless convention and was it Lawgiver before that is actually the first time we all met in real life. The guys that were involved. Right. So. Yeah, we started out online with the 1977-2000 AD group. That's what brought us to Lawgiver to actually have our first meet in real life,
face to face.
Yeah. So
we all had the t-shirts on. Jeremy, if you don't know an awful lot about Jeremy, apart from the fact that his work is great, Jeremy. We're getting the second book of Undertow. Jeremy has a job, but also is a volunteer for the lifeboat service. So.
Oh, big on him.
And a fantastic artist and a great strength with his son.
Yeah. And the thing is, you see, we know our friend. They're our friends. We know them, you know, because we've chatted a lot, and we'd love to meet everyone.
It's great, isn't it? You feel so close to people you've never met sometimes because you've done so much together and you've formed this rapport. And when you do meet them, it's a great feeling.
Well, we met at Shrewsbury, didn't we, Shane?
We did.
Very briefly.
Very briefly, yeah, but it was nice. Michael Powell.
Hey, Michael.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see the
Hello,
77 and Scar coming together. Yes, it's all friendly here, Mike. It's all... But Mike, because Mike's done some stuff for us as well. Did a wonderful story, actually, in Dead by Dawn, I think. And Mike's working for Marvel. Yeah, he's an incredible writer.
So we've had him with the first strip in with Phil Elliott, obviously a bastion of the British comic scene from the 60s, 70s onwards. He did The Last Man, which was a sort of a Brexit in space story, number 1. And then he came back with I Know the Secret of the Alien with Mike Collins. And Matilda. He did Matilda with Sarah Millman, which was absolutely... And he's going to be coming back with Artist X. I can't mention it at the moment because Artist X hasn't yet done the strip, so we'll.
Oh, right, fair enough. Well, I'm a big fan of Sarah Millman's. I think she's a very unique talent. Really good stuff. You've got. I'm just looking through some of the other artists that you've got involved who haven't been mentioned. Aid Hughes, he's done some stuff with you guys. I know.
We don't talk about Steve's cousin.
Are you cousins? Wow,
so again, so I introduced him to the group. This is another. So if we want a little potted history, so Aid lives in Wales. I was in London, and I'm a few years younger. So he come down to actually try to break in 2000 AD when we were a lot younger. When I was about 15, and he kindly took me to the head office, and it was quite a cool experience for a little kid who's well into 2000 AD. But for whatever reasons, it didn't quite work out. Like we mentioned earlier, with the talented people within the group, and he became a postman, like we mentioned earlier.
Another postman.
Obviously, as we were getting to the point of creating a comic, he's an absolutely incredible artist. We got him involved. I wrote the strip that he works on generally, and I give him a little introduction. I got him to do a Slane commission, and I said, if you do a really good job for me, I'll put it in front of Pat Mills.
Oh.
And now Aid draws for Space Warp. So
of course, he's on. Yeah, with Pat. Fantastic.
There's more to that story, but it's not a podcast about that. But Aid,
there's probably a whole bunch of artists saying when they're going to mention me. Ian Stopforth, who I think is going to be, well, I think he is already the next name.
Yeah, I mean, his work. I mean, I'll tell you what, guys, let's have a look at some of the pages in the annual. You could just tell me when you want me to stop sharing, because you don't want me to share everything, obviously. Let's bring this on. There we go. And we'll leave it like that.
Yeah, Mark who, Steve? Mark who?
There's two covers to the annual. So this is the hardcover, and the retail soft cover is by the fantastic Mark Montague, who has worked for 2000 AD. He also won this. What do they call their competition? The Art Stars, isn't it? Competition.
Oh yeah. Did he win that? Did he? Oh right.
Yeah, he won that a couple of years ago with a Dread piece.
So we can name the artists on the next covers as well, couldn't we? As we flick up there.
Yeah, sure.
Helps you to remind which artist you're working with.
So we got Aid on the left and the fab Neil Sims on the right there. Okay, so that's an image of Benksy.
Aid came back for number 3.
Yeah, a very nice artist from Bristol, Johnny Royden, with his penny pentagram on the right there.
Ah, I like the style of that.
So what you're looking at right now is the standard version of the comic. So that's the one we try to land on any local comic shops shelves. We also generally do some variant comics covers.
That's Ian's work on the right, isn't it?
That's Ian Stopforth there on the right. Yeah.
That's lovely. That is. I like that cover.
And Neil Sims again on the left. Now Ian's. I worked with him on kind of. He did once. Basically, when he submitted, because it wasn't a proposal. A commission. It was a submission.
Right.
We were working on this idea of a strip, and he sent me these pictures of these kid soldiers because that's the strip. And I just got back to him and said, "Wow, and it wasn't this image. The image it was the same character, but literally with the sidearm, so it's more relaxed, not a pose."
Yeah.
And then Steve and I got together, and we sort of wanted something a little bit more dynamic. So Ian went straight back to the drawing board, or should I say the paint board, because that's oils.
Right.
That's oils.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay, that's big. That's A2.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow, that's good.
So one of our buyers, I don't know if we want to mention him or not, but one of our really, really big supporters has really gotten into Stopforth and is buying anything the guy sets out.
Oh, it's always nice, isn't it, to get a patron like that, someone who supports your work. Yeah. This is good.
So we wanted to have the sort of feel of the old annual.
Yeah. Go on, Lucy.
I was going to say, have you got a combination of different letters and colors? I've got a thing for colors, and the way that they all work together, that there was a beautiful theme within the colors. So have you got one colorist?
Which page do you want to look at?
Have you got Underground Labs?
So we have, it's generally a mixed bag. So you're going to have, with something like Ian Stopforth's painted artwork, that's obviously all him. We've got fantastic colorists called Darren Stevens that will work across. In fact, generally he'll work across anywhere we need the help. He's done Division 77, he's done V, a number of things. So a lot of the backgrounds on here is Brendan, our art editor, just bringing that to the table, and he drew the Benksy that's there. So to introduce Benksy, that character you see there we mentioned it was a nostalgic comic to begin with, and they always had a character as an editor.
They did, didn't they? Yeah.
The character that's lived with us, and coincidentally, is called Benksy, much like the real editor. What a coincidence.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was created myself and Neil Sims a couple of years back, and he appeared in a couple of sort of side strips and stuff, and he's really just sort of like, I don't know, there's a story in here. I don't know whether we're going to allow him to show that panel, Steve, but how can we put it? There's a bit of a cliffhanger, isn't there?
All right. I mean, looking at the contents page here, wow, this book is packed with material. It really is.
Yeah,
All filler, no thriller, mate. All filler.
Yeah, man. And I love this. I love all the, all the editorial stuff. Meet the gang.
Yeah.
That's great stuff. And who
So
did
they're
these
the key
illustrations
figures.
here? Who did these illustrations?
This is
So
Brendan.
that's
Right.
Brendan again. So Brendan
Right.
drew. So Brendan does a wonderful strip for us called Martian Law.
Yeah.
And then for the annual, I offered him the chance to either do Martian Law, or I basically wanted to open the annual with a fun strip that it's a parody of Die Hard, and I wanted to try and work the team into it. So what you're seeing there is the characters that we came up between us to represent the members of the team.
What a great idea. Try hard. Fantastic.
So yeah, Brendan works as a graphic artist in New Zealand. He's also a caricaturist, so
All right.
he's really quite good at people's likenesses and stuff. He appeared on a TV show, didn't we, a couple of weeks back? It's very interesting, on a kids' TV show over there, and did some pictures of the presenters there. Apparently, it absolutely went down a bomb. So
Fair play.
he could well get some extra work from that. But he's been doing sort of things like health service graphics and stuff, and now he's much more enjoying himself doing the comics.
Oh yeah, I bet. That's like going from classical music to rock and roll, isn't it?
There's the team there. So they're the bad guys in this particular strip.
Oh, they're the bad guys. Right.
Yeah,
got you.
we're the bad guys.
Yeah, we're the bad guys.
And this one's actually, so we mentioned the colorist. So Darren Stevens worked on this one as the colorist. So you can see the colors pop on this as well. So
They do indeed. Yeah. I love the I mean the John McClane likeness is pretty good there.
What do you mean? It's nothing to do with John McClane. What are you on about?
Of course not. Of course not.
It
Yeah,
said
brilliant.
try hard. Very, very different. Copyrighted. It said try
Who's the
hard.
Jason
Very
Statham
different,
character?
very
Who's the
different, right?
Jason
Very
Statham
different.
character? I got no idea.
I didn't even, that wasn't even my creation. So when I laid down descriptions for the members of the team to Brendan, I was quite far in what I needed everybody to look like. And then I said, for my character, just do what you want to do. So that's what he came up with there. So
It's fantastic. Fantastic. I'm just gonna
Big
what
chin
I'm
and
gonna
a
do.
massive chest.
Shane, you're only on page 5. There's another 139 to go.
This is the scary. I don't want to show too much because obviously we don't want to give it all away, do we? But yeah, I'll show a little bit more. Though.
I mean, you're welcome to show if you want to go to, not now, but if you want to bring them up, they go to look at the variant covers again and stuff like that, and maybe some of the features. They're quite nice.
Cool.
So we
What
did.
page-
So Steve and I chatted about whether it would have some games in it and some cut out and keep and do. And there are proper activities in this annual to do.
again, we
So,
wanted
That's
that.
what
we
I
wanted
wanted
that
to ask.
Let's flick. Let's flick to the end and go from the other side. So this is the
variant
regular
cover.
cover, isn't it? Oh, the variant cover. Yeah.
Well, sorry, they're not really a variant. So this is the Kickstarter soft cover, and that's 8 hues.
Cool.
And
Cool,
again, it
that's-
features a mix of our characters from the different storylines, some of our most popular characters.
Really good stuff.
My memories
We're
of
gonna-
annuals being a kid, you should have at the very front cover, it should say this annual belongs to, and then nice dotted lines.
Yeah,
We've
that's
got
a
it.
good idea.
we got
We've
it.
got it.
We got it.
You
You
got,
got
it.
it.
Where's
And we got
that?
the price. And we got the price tab as well.
I was going to say, have you got the
Ah.
price?
Yeah.
you've got to top
And
it
you
off.
have to pay more if you want it complete. Otherwise, we'll cut it off.
So the hardcover, the hardcover's
price
got
clips.
wallpaper. It's got wallpaper. It's got this annual belongs to. It's got the clip off.
I was going to ask about the
price tag.
wallpaper on the inside as well.
Yeah, we got it.
I love
So
my
cool.
annual.
I don't know if it's on this file though, Steve. Is it?
No,
The-
this one's a soft cover file. So yeah, the hardcover's got the extra.
Yeah, I'm afraid you have to buy the hardcover to find it.
Well, that's a
Wow.
good motivation to go out there and buy the hardcover, isn't it?
So this
You
is
know?
the merch we're going to be selling at Thought Bubble.
This is nice.
I've just ordered some more. We got a fantastic. So we just linger here for a second. So the key fob
Yeah.
that's created by Julie Appleby, who's an amazing 3D sculptress.
Right.
She's a member of our groups and is well known amongst the community in terms of sculpting and stuff. Steve, I've just ordered another 50 of those. We've sold 150 of those in the last year, mate.
Fantastic.
So Lou Stringer's badge there. So Lou gets a 15% cut on every badge. Okay, so that's the Lou Stringer. That's a shout.
We love Lou Stringer. Like everybody at the Icecast loves.
Yeah, we
Lou.
look after him.
His character, Sergeant Shouty, is incredible. It's the first thing I read in any of the comics that we do. So.
Yeah. So Blazer came out with a free sticker, of course, because you want
Of
something.
course.
When we
Yeah.
did number 1 of the 77, it came out with a badge stuck to it. So those badges are rare as hen's teeth now. You can't.
I bet
get
they
those.
are. Yeah.
What about the refresher bar? Have you got to that point yet?
No, Steve does his boot camp, so he won't let us touch sweets.
Won't put sweets on the front.
No, I
It's
don't
just
blame
hard
you,
to
mate.
pack the comic, isn't it?
Yeah, they tear the cover off as well.
Yeah.
So the
I
t-shirts,
know.
obviously.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, this
Yeah.
is great merch. Fantastic.
Yeah. And merch
Really
is
nice.
important because it's what you can bolt to Kickstarter rewards, you know.
Yeah.
And keep new stuff coming out, and your fans will respond to Martian Law work. So this is to spot the difference that. So this is more Brendan's work. It's more painted here, so he
Is
does
this
a
the
painted
answers?
style as well.
Brendan. Yeah. it's nice.
These are the answers. Yeah, don't show the answers. These are
Oh,
the,
let's
Quick,
skip.
quick.
Let's,
that's
oh,
the
let's
spot
get-
the difference and the
Yeah.
etc.
let's go to another strip. Hey, let's see what
Now this
Ooh.
is that was okay. We've got
Ooh.
Stephen Pugh here.
Oh, Steve. Yeah, beautiful.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
Stephen King.
Yeah, lovely.
And that was
That's
written by Paul Neal as well, who contributed
Yeah.
2 stories to the strip, to the comic, which one
Yeah.
is by Steve Pugh, and what's the other one? It is.
Well, the Glenn Fabry, the House
Oh
Winds.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, Glenn
Ah.
Fabry.
That chap
There you
Glenn
go.
Fabry
You
that
heard
you
of
may
it?
have heard of. Yeah.
Yeah, that bloke.
What, only
Yeah,
9-page
fantastic.
story? You're only getting a 9-page Glenn Fabry story in our
Wow.
Wonderful.
That's. Oh, and this is a variant, and
Yeah. Freak. So Techno Freak. So Dave Charles and
John Charles.
John
Gonzalez.
Charles. Oh, I
Yeah.
know this strip.
But it's
yeah.
it's another artist, a guy called Valjean, who's pretty well known in Europe.
Lovely
We had a
guy.
lovely meeting with him the other night. It was fantastic, didn't we? We had a Chilean, a Paraguayan, a Brazilian, a Spaniard on the same kind of thing we're doing now. It was amazing.
I thought you were getting some. I thought you was talking about getting stuff waxed. Then.
No, just saying. So the internet's great for getting people together. And we had a worldwide
is.
conversation. We also got a new artist, a guy called Toyin Mobi, who's from Nigeria, and his work's one of the strips. And we're meeting new people all the time. And I love the fact that we've got an international mix
Yeah.
now, definitely.
Great.
And these are people we know. Do you know what I mean? We
Yeah.
catch up with them.
No,
This is Pete
I'm-
Weston.
I'm
so
recognizing
that's,
some of this. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Written by Dave Healy. That's a really, really fun strip. And Pete Weston is just
That's lovely
absolutely
work.
absolutely incredible.
Mm.
We can't just
Yeah.
go past. Did you just that faithful Ferris feline foil? That is a beautiful sentence. Wow.
Thank you. Yeah. Dave's quite a good.
Wow.
Dave is an excellent pensmith. Honestly, he works his work pretty good. Yeah, I just have to proofread Steve's, but everything else is good, Steve.
It's true. Yeah, English wasn't my best. One thing I noticed as I go through this is every time we pull to a strip, and this happens usually, is this is a great artist. This is a fantastic writer. Honestly, there's not a strip I can't say it about, and it's being 100% honest. There's nothing. There's so many different styles.
Yeah.
Yet every single thing on their own can be held up as like just an amazing piece of work.
Yeah. I mean, this is so inventive, like with the paper clips and everything. That's just really
Yeah.
cool.
So
I
Pete
genuinely
Weston is
think
a
it's
Pete Weston is a Grammy winning a BAFTA. He's a BAFTA awarded. He's got his own BAFTA
Right.
for services to animation. He's one of the key guys from way back. So did Roger Rabbit.
Oh, right. Wow.
Yeah, his dad is a well-known artist as well, Mike Weston.
Yeah. I've heard of Mike
Another
Weston. Yeah.
fantastic artist right there.
Fantastic. Sorry, Lucy. Did you have something?
You can see that it's come from a community. Everything, the from the writing to the drawing to the colours to the lettering to all the placement. It all seems to really flow.
And the guys, they love
You
chatting
must be
to each
really
other.
proud.
They support each other. They're in touch with each other. We've got. Can I just, Steve? I've got to do this right.
Go.
Gary, if you can see us, mate, you take care. Yeah, we
Wishing
got
you
a
the
guy.
best, mate.
Got a
Message
guy
you.
who's convalescing in hospital. He's not very well at all. So Gary,
Oh,
Burnley,
really?
you take care, mate. All right.
Oh, all the best, Gary.
Sending love, Gary.
Yeah, sending lots of love from the ice.
Readers art, mate.
Yeah.
So we got
That's
some,
great. I love it. This is what we want. Yes.
That's what you want in an annual, right? So,
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
fantastic. Oh, that's wonderful. This is the next generation, man.
Absolutely.
This is
Absolutely.
what I always loved this in the old British comics.
Do you know Andy Meenock, Shane?
I know him online. I don't think
Yeah,
we've met
so
in
that's
person.
Andy Minock's work on the bottom right there. He's doing our new strip with Bambos in the
Oh,
comic,
really?
the Mr. Mika Monster Maker. And this is a couple of the characters from that who are taking you through the gallery here. So Andy's a new find this year for us. We're going to be running with him for a good year or so. And who knows? I mean, don't want to name names on these pages, but there are some of the people who sent artwork to us who really, they're not that far away, are they, Steve? To be honest with you, they could, couldn't they? They could.
And that's
You
what
can
we're
see
doing. We're kind of
potential.
encouraging all the time. So there's one like right there. So you got Simon Hill on that top left. That's a
The Penny
fantastic
Pentagram.
piece of work. He's turned in some incredible stuff over Inktober. And I keep badgering him. Like I have lots of conversations with the guy, and I'm just like, send me some sequential artwork. So Simon, if you're out there, get it done. Let's see what we get.
And that is the key as well. If you're listening, Simon, you know, get the sequentials done.
Yeah,
because that's how you make it. Is with the sequentials. Get the sequentials to the
again.
editors.
Another guy. Have we given any love to Andrew Sawyers? So Andrew comes not from sequential art background. He's well known for having done Droptober, where he did some incredible dreads and stuff.
Yeah,
and worked on those, and then we kind of brought him to us and said, "Mate, do you want to have a go?" You know, with Bambos, and did the start of the cell.
Yes,
he's absolutely flourished, hasn't he?
This is a 2-page game. We are showing them all the stuff, Steve.
Yeah.
It's really cool though. I'm hoping that people will look at this and want to buy it. You know?
Shane, this is your technician, your production assistant tonight.
Yeah.
Is Andy doing it? Is he on the knot?
This is the thing. It's just me because
okay.
Sam and Andy and Ollie were all busy. So I'm doing.
Well, this is Andy's work right here.
So David Thomas and Andrew Richmond did the Penny story, and then we wanted a board game, so they put together the board game for us. So obviously we've got Spot the Difference, we've got a board game, we've got the Reader's Art Gallery.
You got make a robot.
Yeah, make one of our characters. You can cut out and build one of the characters from one of the strips. Lots of like the kind of things you would have found in like historic annuals, and you would have loved, and you would have been mad at 10 years later that you cut up your annual.
Oh yeah, that was the thing when you're a kid. You know, you cut all the things out, don't you? Why did I do that? This is great stuff. And who's this?
I managed to rescue all my annuals only earlier this year. They were all destined to be thrown out, and I managed to intercept the moment.
Do you know, I think if I was to keep a very limited amount of my collection, I might keep some keys, absolutely some keys of some comics, but it's the annuals. I think that back in the dark days to come in the future, I think they're the ones I would reach for. I really would, and they'd give me the most fond memories. I really would think.
Definitely,
because it's Christmas, isn't it? It's Christmas and family, and who bought them for you, and memories.
They're core memories. They're core memories, aren't they?
Smell of them.
Core memories. Yeah. I remember learning to read. Reading an old 1970s Hulk annual with my nan when I was about 4 years old. You know, she used to sit with me, read and you know, and she was probably thinking, "What is this?" You know, but she took the time, and those memories are so precious, and so we attach these memories to these publications, and it's really strong love now that we have.
I hope your hardcover one comes with the sound and the crack of the spine when you're the first thing to open.
The first thing I'm going to do tomorrow. First thing I'm going to do, take it out, give it a sniff, and give it an open for the crack. Yeah, there we go.
Steve, my boxes are sitting in my front foyer, the front part of the house. Open that door, and it's just like, wow, fresh ink. You know, you get that fresh ink smell, don't you?
It's a great smell, isn't it? I just had a delivery of Dead by Dawn's last week, and the first thing I did was get them out of the box and have a good old sniff. Oh yeah, the art's really good, but it smells amazing.
I knew I was destined to be a publisher when, as a kid at school, we didn't have the photocopiers because I'm that old. They were the banders. So basically, they wrapped the warm stuff, and it smelled like warm coconut, honestly. And as a kid, I loved carrying the worksheets from the bander to my class. So clearly, I was destined to be a publisher later in life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
this is stop now.
Yeah.
Can you go reasonably quickly over this next page? Quick. No, you're lingering. Thank you.
That's all right. No, go back. Go show a little bit of.
So this is Glenn. Bit of Glenn.
What's this?
This is
nice.
Kish. They're out of Philadelphia, and a brand new artist to us worked with Anna Everts and Anna Everts, you have to say.
Right.
So basically, a couple of wonderful things happened during that were a little bit out of the way we would usually work. So one here is that Anna Everts had a story, and we were discussing an artist, and she wanted to reach out into basically find her own artist.
Okay.
And we wanted to reach in a different community than we would normally go. So we didn't want to go into Facebook. She reached out through Twitter, almost like a competition, had some entrants, and then Kish came through. So this is Kish, never worked with us before, absolutely lovely person. The art is phenomenal. It fits the story amazingly. And yeah, that's there. Another one of our stories in there, which is our second story. We run a competition on our Facebook group, and we received so many entries. So that was a script competition.
Right.
And I chose one that had a really good feel for an annual. And that's Christoph Rodriguez. Is it Rodriguez?
I've seen Christoph in the groups. Yeah.
There you go. So he won that script competition. We paired him up with Damien Edwardson, and it's a really nice story for an annual. So
yeah,
there were a couple in the mix, and hopefully we're going to be able to publish a couple of other stories that came out of that competition. Here we go. Yeah. Lucy's spotted a bit of Stringer.
The whole theme.
I have this one actually. I have this edition. I got it on the Kickstarter. I couldn't resist it.
It's the best. Yeah, fold out cover.
Brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Oh man. Well, there's a little bit of Glenn Fabry there as well, I believe.
Glenn.
That's really nice. And you were able to sell the original pages, weren't you, on the Kickstarter for that?
Yeah. So what happened is Paul Neal, the writer, had commissioned the pages a fair amount of time ago and bought them outright. Got agreement from Glenn that they were his to do what he wanted. And in support of the comic again, like the way the community works in support of the comic, he offered the pages up for sale. So there's a double page spread in there that was gifted to Annie Parkhouse, who's an incredible legend from the industry.
Fantastic.
Who lettered his stories, Letters V and a couple of other ones for us. The rest of the pages were up on our Kickstarter, available to buy in different pledge rewards. So
that's fantastic.
Spectacular.
Really,
I think we also have to say this is a low resolution copy. So
yeah,
it's better. It's better in real life. Okay, guys. This is a very low res.
You never pick up all the lines on a low res.
Well, Shane, the lowest res we could get it down 200 DPI, 150 DPI still was 136 megabyte file.
Really? Wow. Well, I was able to download this reasonably quickly. Yeah. I always worry, just with high res stuff. Sometimes my old PC it can get stuck, But this worked well. I mean, guys, all I could say is, congratulations on what looks to be. It really is a superb looking book. It really is. I mean, you can see the work. You can see the work and the love that's gone into it, and the quality. The quality. When I look back at issue, this is not dissing issue 1, but I can see this progression. Fantastic. Congratulations, guys.
Cheers. Thank you so much. And Shane, we're going to be seeing you at Birmingham, I believe, or where are we seeing you? What's happening?
You will. You see
stories right there.
You will. Yes. So there, I was wondering when he was going to pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the 12th? Is that the second weekend of September? Is it?
So yeah, the 10th of September, ICE will be returning. I've just sort of secured some really cool guests as well, which I'm going to be announcing very soon. And yeah, you guys, of course, I want you there. I mean, the thing about ICE, we've always had a big indie contingent. It's always been a really important part of what we do is, supporting the indie scene, making sure that we've got a good selection of indie creators represented. And so, yes, it's very important for us for guys like you to be there. Hopefully, the guys from Shift will be there as well. We want as many indie guys as we possibly can.
Yeah, can I just say a big thank you to Adrian for working and Greg. They've really pulled it out. And Stuart as well. Stuart Gould has done a tremendous job with us, worked really hard to get us what we wanted. And a lot of toing and backing and throwing, but it's...
And again, that doesn't feel like we're it doesn't feel like we're, I don't know, there's suppliers and clients and stuff. It just feels like everybody's pulling in the same direction, like from our distribution to our printing, etc. So yeah,
they become friends. These guys,
Absolutely.
they do become your friends. I mean, I've known Stuart for 20 odd years. I haven't known Adrian that long, but man, yeah, I totally back you up on that one, Ben. He is fantastic.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Really good guy. Pleasure to work with. Really, yeah. So I hope I can meet all these guys. And Lucy, you better come along as well. I want to see you at ICE.
I think of all the ones, I'm going to take a holiday and
Bring your
else
truck.
to drive my truck.
Bring your truck. You know, Lucy's a truck driver, by the way, guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring a rig.
So we've got a couple more comments. Sorry.
I was going to say, just going to read the comments out, save you bringing them up. Because the thing is with ICE is on this online chat show. If you join the group, you can see all the different interviews that Shane arranges. So it'd be nice for some of your community to come back next week, and they're not just here to see you boys.
Yeah,
sure.
Indeed. But if, for any new viewers, welcome. It's really nice to have you. Joe obviously is one of your team. And just echoing your comments there, Peter Weston's art is sublime.
Fantastic. Just while Joe's up on there, so Joe's producing a comic for us next year called Pandora, which again is a slightly different direction. It's got some really good names.
I've heard about Pandora.
There's been some
another
amazing
direction, another whole load of creators. And am I coming? I don't think I'm coming on, but Dan Cornwall and Steve McManus, are we booking something in December? There, Shane? I can't remember.
I think there will be a Blazer episode coming up. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that, as long as Steve's available, and if we can get Dan as well, that'd be fantastic.
Hi, Joe.
Hey. One last comment from John. Really nice and varied artwork. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Johnny.
You're gonna love it, John.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, we've had our hour. We whizzed through it as we always do.
Wow.
It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you guys. Are there any other little plugs you want to give before we go offline?
There's probably 100 more, to be honest. But I've really enjoyed my time here tonight for an hour. It's lovely to meet you guys on the show.
Likewise.
And honestly, I'm going to plug the comic one more time because they're right in front of me, and I seriously challenge anybody to pick it up, read it, and not feedback to me that it's not what you enjoy. I'd struggle to believe it. It's incredible.
It is great, mate. And how shiny are those covers as well?
They're really, really shiny. I can't wait to get the hardback one.
Yeah, the hardback looks beautiful. Anyway, we could carry on for all night going on about how wonderful this comic is.
Little Hero Spark has just commented, damn, have I missed it? Well, the thing is, all of these broadcasts are available to watch after this.
Rewind.
They're up to posterity online. So please enjoy your own leisure.
You can watch on YouTube, you can watch on Facebook, and we are on Twitch for a limited time until Twitch kicks it off. So you haven't missed it at all. You've just missed the live version. So thanks very much, guys. Have yourselves a great rest of the evening. All the best with the annual. All the best with all your future plans. And I look forward to seeing you at ICE or maybe sooner.
Cool. I'll see you tomorrow at Thought Bubble, Steve.
Yep, I'll see you there. Thank you very much, guys.
Saturday, mate.
Thanks, Lucy.
Yeah, take care. Nice to meet you.
All the best, guys. Bye-bye.